Donald Trump appears to be panicking as high-stakes negotiations begin in Islamabad, Pakistan, between the United States and Iran. Iran arrived with a powerful and coordinated delegation, signaling strength and intent. In contrast, the U.S. presence looks limited and far less serious by comparison. Iran entered the talks with its top national security advisors, senior foreign policy officials, and key parliamentary leaders. Meanwhile, the Trump administration sent J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, a real estate associate from Trump's past, and Jared Kushner, his son-in-law. The contrast in arrivals was striking. Iran's delegation was welcomed in Pakistan with significant ceremony, almost like national heroes. Despite earlier claims that Iran's leadership had been weakened, a large group of senior officials appeared together in Islamabad for these talks. You can see the motorcades, the formal reception, and the Pakistani military greeting Iranian officials, including Foreign Minister Araki. The footage shows Iranian leaders being treated with high respect, almost like victors. They appear confident, composed, and unified. Now compare that to the U.S. arrival. J.D. Vance arrived with his wife Yusha walking down the steps in a far less formal setting. The difference in tone is clear. It raises serious questions about whether the Trump administration is treating these negotiations with urgency. Iran, on the other hand, is represented by experienced diplomats and negotiators. The U.S. side includes Vance, Yusha, Kushner, and Witkoff. Looking at the full list of Iranian officials present, it is clear they brought a comprehensive leadership team. The posture of each side reveals the broader dynamic. Iran has deployed its top leadership across national security, parliament, and foreign affairs. The United States did not even send the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. The presence of Vance, Yusha, Kushner, and Witkoff suggests either a lack of seriousness or a position of weakness. It indicates that the administration may already be conceding ground. Reports suggest that the United States has agreed to Iran's 10-point negotiation framework. Under this framework, Iran retains control of the Strait of Hormuz, keeps its ballistic missile program, continues uranium enrichment, secures long-term guarantees, receives reparations, and sees sanctions lifted. From Iran's perspective, this moment is historic. Their leadership appears determined to finalize what they see as a strategic victory. They view this as an opportunity to formalize a new balance of power and to demonstrate dominance over the United States. That is how they interpret the situation. Regional intelligence analyst Danny Sidran describes the situation as highly significant. He notes that Iran's full delegation signals serious intent to push its core principles. According to Sidran, these talks are not simply about reducing tensions. They are about shaping a broader agreement that includes economic relief and strategic gains. Iran does not see this as a negotiation to end conflict alone. Instead, it views it as a way to solidify its achievements during the confrontation. Iranian leadership believes current conditions create a rare opportunity they aim to secure economic concessions while reinforcing regional dominance. Looking again at the U.S. side, it is acting alone. There are no representatives from the UK, France, NATO, or regional allies. The U.S. delegation consists only of J.D. Vance, Yusha, Jared Kushner, and Steve Witkoff. This imbalance further reinforces Iran's confidence. Iran appears to recognize the advantage and is moving accordingly. As negotiations began, Donald Trump posted on social media. He described the situation as great and referenced oil tankers heading toward the United States. He claimed empty tankers were moving to pick up crude for markets affected by Hormuz disruptions. He also stated that U.S. oil exports were about to surge. However, global oil markets operate internationally. Disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz impact prices worldwide, including in the United States. That is why fuel prices are rising. Oil pricing is determined globally based on supply. The statements raised questions about the accuracy of the claims. It is also important to note that part of the preconditions for negotiations included security guarantees. These guarantees extend not only to Iran but also to Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and militia groups in Iraq. At the same time, Israeli airstrikes have been reported in Lebanon. Israel claims it detected a drone threat originating from Lebanon. Reports indicate that strikes hit a power station in southern Lebanon. The facility sustained visible damage. Israeli jets carried out strikes in the Nabatea district north of the Litani River. These actions occurred as negotiations were ongoing. Developments on the ground continue to evolve alongside the talks. Meanwhile, U.S. intelligence suggests that China may supply Iran with shoulder-fired air defense systems. This could occur through indirect channels to conceal origin. China has denied the claims and called for de-escalation. At the same time, Iran's international position appears stronger. It maintains control over the Strait of Hormuz and has stated it will not relinquish it. Iran has indicated it may impose fees of up to $2 million per tanker. Under the reported framework, Iran retains its missile systems and drone capabilities. It also continues uranium enrichment activities. There are also reports that sanctions have effectively been lifted, allowing oil sales. Sanctions on Russia have also reportedly been reduced. Gas prices in the United States have surged. They rose by 21.2% in March, the largest increase since 1967. Iran has also stated it cannot locate certain naval mines in the Strait of Hormuz. This situation effectively limits access through international waters. However, vessels can pass closer to Iranian territorial waters, reinforcing Iran's control. Analysts suggest it may not be in Iran's interest to clear those mines. Further reports indicate that Iran's missile capabilities were not fully destroyed. Approximately half of its systems remain operational. These systems can be rebuilt quickly, and under the negotiation framework, Iran retains them. Despite this, Trump stated on social media that Iran has no leverage. He claimed their only strategy was temporary disruption of global shipping. He also stated that Iran depends on negotiations for survival. However, traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has dropped sharply. Only 2 vessels passed through in the past 24 hours. Previously, even during conflict, 10 to 15 tankers moved daily. Currently, no tankers have passed, only 2 cargo ships flying Iranian flags. Iranian sources claim that additional conditions were accepted by the U.S. These reportedly include the release of frozen assets and limits on daily vessel traffic. Earlier, Trump stated that Iran's military capabilities were eliminated. He claimed the Navy, Air Force, and leadership were gone. He also suggested the strait would reopen automatically. He said economic necessity would force it open. Trump emphasized that the primary objective was preventing nuclear weapons. He maintained that the strait would reopen regardless. He also noted that the U.S. does not rely heavily on the strait compared to other nations. When asked about contingency plans, he said none were needed. His public messaging also focused on unrelated topics. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton has commented on the situation. He stated that Trump appears eager to exit the conflict. Bolton believes Trump will accept any deal and present it as a success. He described the situation as a complete strategic concession by the United States. The agreed framework allows Iran to retain control of the strait, continue enrichment, and receive full guarantees. It also includes lifting sanctions and removing international restrictions. Images from Islamabad show senior Iranian leaders arriving in large numbers. Figures like Foreign Minister Iraqi and Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf are present. Ghalibaf is leading the delegation. He is joined by multiple senior officials across key sectors. In contrast, the U.S. delegation remains limited. We will continue to monitor developments closely. Subscribe to stay updated as the situation unfolds.